Alright, let's get straight to it. Spirit is very high. I want to go on in. I know this is gonna sound like a repeat of the last few days, and it's not. It's just a continuation over the last couple of days. A lot of us are walking around as wounded soldiers with big gashes in our back. We got big, long, bloody, cut up pieces literally on our back. And those pieces, they don't just stick on your flesh, on your back. They go all the way skin deep, soul and spirit deep, mind deep, body and soul deep. And when you don't tend to those wounds, but instead you try to put on a shiny armor on the front, excuse me, if you know anything about how a warrior or a soldier prepares for battle, they usually put this armor on, this big heavy armor. They got a big heavy hood or whatever they want to call helmet, a big heavy helmet. And they have the big metal pieces on them, chains, and just all the heavy equipment. So that when you go out to war, you don't have to worry about someone being able to just, boom, just throw in their sword and go right through you. That metal, that steel should be able to keep it from piercing. But what we don't understand as a people is when you go through things in life, when you go through struggles and pain and confusion and anxiousness, when you get depressed, this is all just dealing with yourself. And then you go to an extra level and you deal with someone outside yourself, family, friend, lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, don't matter who it is, and they break your heart. People talk about the heart, but they never say anything about how it affects the spirit, how it affects the soul. And as a default mechanism, we had a tendency to say, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. Or if I do deal with this, I'm going to deal with it in my own way. And by doing it in my own way, it's not going to break me down. You know, it's not going to turn me into ash and dust because I can't afford. Literally, I can't mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually, financially, or socially afford to be broken down. Especially if I got people depending on me. I got family, I got children, I got a husband, I got a wife, I got a business, I got a job, I got a community, I got all these things. And even though I see those things as things that's holding me down, what I don't really understand is those things are really what's propping me up. Because I'm putting all of what it is that I really need to give to Jesus and I really need to take care of and deal with myself. I'm putting it on responsibilities. I'm putting it on, you know what, I done come too far. When I look back and see how far I've come, I can't go back. It don't even make no sense to. And I can't stop. I can't stop. I gotta keep going because all this stuff that I've accepted, I've dealt with, I've gone through, all the heartbreaks I've endured, it can't be for no reason. It's gotta be a reason and a purpose. And then we start to create one. And then we invent one in our mind about what that reason and that purpose is. Not even understanding that already been a reason and a purpose. You didn't have to make any up. You didn't have to figure it out. You didn't have to create these things. You do it, but you didn't have to. So not only are you battling against that which you were always meant to do, you the purpose for why it was always meant to happen, but you're also battling through the ones in which you created. So you're going against two different wars. And the biggest problem of all is it's not your heart. That's the most affected. It's your soul and your spirit. You may cry sometime, but ask yourself this question. Which part of me is doing the crying? Is it the eyes on my face that's doing the crying? Is it my heart space that's doing the crying? When does my soul cry? When does my spirit cry? Because my soul and my spirit, they have to weep as well. And the reason why your soul and your spirit has to weep is because your spirit and your soul is affected. They get infected. And they are cut just as deeply as some cuts and them scars on your back, where you may shine up this big metal thing that's shining, and people are waving and smiling at you, and you're waving and you're smiling back as much as you can, depending on the situation. But your soul isn't smiling. Your spirit isn't smiling, let alone your heart smiling. But God gives you a fresh heart, enough for you to just keep on keeping it on. And he says, well, when you're ready, when you realize, hold up, wait a minute. When you realize and you get too far in there, you start to find out something ain't quite right. There's something missing. Something is just not lining up right. Like every time I take 10 steps forward, I get thrown 20 steps back, and I'm not understanding. Like I did the work. I did the training. I picked up the weights and I built my muscles. Okay, well, what about what's under the skin? What about what's under the muscles? Any person that's a gym rat would tell you, if you overdo it in the gym and you keep overdoing it, eventually your muscles start to, I don't even know the word for it, but they start to disintegrate. Even though the outside part starts looking all big like the Rock or Batista, the inside of it starts to break down. And that's why they have to do ice baths. That's why they have to soak in Epsom salt. That's why they have to take days, maybe even weeks, and if they hurt themselves too badly, months and even years off of the workout, let alone what the purpose and reason is for them working out. And the reason why is because they taking care of the outside, but nothing is being done about the inside. You need rest. You need transition. And so does your spirit and your soul. It needs rest and it needs transition. And when you get to a certain place, you can go all the way up the top of the mountain. But by the time you get halfway up the mountain, them legs is going to be burning. If the oxygen level up there is getting as thin as they say it does, to the point where you get ready to become almost drunk and pass out, because the oxygen level is decreasing within you, because you can pull with so much in. And the reason why you can pull with so much in, because you don't have enough fuel. And your fuel that keeps you moving and going, baby, is not your heart. It's your spirit and it's your soul. So if you don't allow your spirit and your soul to cry, to deal with it, to experience it, instead of running from it, because in fear you feel like, I've heard people say it a million times, and they're gonna say it a million more, if I start crying, I ain't gonna be able to stop. But guess what? If you don't start crying, eventually you gonna stop. And I'm not talking about the crying, I mean you gonna stop, because you're gonna not exist anymore, because you're gonna die. They say that the mind cannot live without the body. Guess what? The mind and the body can't live without the spirit and the soul. Instead, you're just going to be a corpse walking around until it falls down. Either it falls down and somebody going to say, well, that person died from stress. They had a heart attack. They had a stroke. Too much work and too much coffee. No, it's too much BS that you have not dealt with. Too much drama. Too much hurt and pain and too much loss. Too much not grief, but too much grief that you have not released. But it is kind of like grease too. You ever had grease build up in your pan, and and I had to do this at work yesterday, so I know what I'm talking about. I do it in my house, but I had to do it at work today. I don't even know what or how long that stuff had been on that pan. But it was to the point where I'm like, man, if I had the stuff I had at my house, I could just sprinkle it in there, put some hot water on it, maybe sit it on the stove, and turn that sucker up, let it boil, and let that junk sit there. And then I could just wipe it off. But no, in that circumstance I wasn't in my house. So the products that I cleaned with wasn't with me. And I couldn't use the stove, I'ma just say, because of where I was working at, using the stove wasn't an option. So all I really could do was put water and soap in that thing. Hot water as much as I could from what was in the sink. And let that junk sit and soak while I cleaned everything else. And then, even then, when I got ready to clean it, I still had to I mean, my back hurt. I'm bent over in the sink because my back is hurting me. I even took a pain pill for that purpose before I headed to work, because I knew it was a possibility that standing up there doing whatever I was gonna be doing, my back was possible. But it didn't stop. The pain in my back kept going. I had to keep scrubbing. Why? I'm getting them coins to scrub. That's the same thing that goes on with you. I know that you don't feel like you have time. I know you don't. Oh, I don't have time to be journaling. I don't have time to be sitting back crying. I don't have time to sit back and think about the past. I got too much going on in the present. I got to go to work. I got to clean the house. I got to take care of the kids. I got to take care of my man, my woman. I got that. You got to stop. And you gotta get that stuff together. You gotta sit in a quiet space. You gotta listen to a song that's gonna trigger you and hit that right chord in you. You gotta do whatever it is that you being divinely guided, supported, provided, and protected to do, so that you can clean that thing. So that you can allow God to clean that thing. Because I promise you, it's not going to kill, steal, or destroy you. And if it does, it's only going to strip away. And like I said, it's going to seem like an instant replay from yesterday. But it's really not. It's picking up everything from yesterday. It's picking up everything from yesterday. It's picking up where it says, okay, God is going to strip these layers off of you in order to make room, in order to show you. No, it ain't even God stripping nothing off to show you. It's God stripping it off today so that you can feel you. So he can feel you. So you can feel yourself. And so you can get back into your feelings. Because I can tell you, it felt easy for me walking around just souped up in God energy for 4 years. So I didn't have to deal with human emotions. And life was a lot easier for me. But look at where I am now. Look at what I'm doing now. Look at what I'm having to put up with now. Look at what I'm having to deal with now. I would be so much further along in my life right now if I had dealt with all of those things 4 years ago. I wouldn't be sitting up now dealing with it now, because it would have been dealt with then. And my soul and my spirit would have been aligned with all the rest of me. And everything just would have gone for the purpose that it was already set to be gone. Now, am I saying that it's a regret? Oh, God made a mistake. God don't make mistakes. It was needed, necessary, and required for it to happen like it did 4 years ago, just like it's needed, necessary, and required for it to happen right now. And right now, if you being hit by this, if you like, hold up, wait a minute, I got all yanked up, I'm all happy, I'm excited, I got all these things to look forward to. Why am I crying right now? Stop questioning why you crying right now and cry right now. That's it. Straight up. I don't care if it's an ugly cry. I don't care if it's a silent cry. Let it out. Release it. Let it go. Allow yourself to be made manifest and be set free. Because that freedom is what's necessary to heal them bruises on your back, to heal them bruises that's in your soul and your spirit. I just had my experience before I jumped on here, and if I can be honest with you, it wasn't one thing. It was multiple things, and it was multiple reasons why that mad crazy had to come up out of me. Everything from when I was 8, 9 years old, a situation dealing with my daddy over there, something that happened about 6 years ago when I lived where I'm living now, just in a different location. What happened 2 years ago, all these different things that I didn't deal with in the moment, all hit me right in the crack right then. And it all had to come up and out, and I had to grieve that thing. You thinking jumping past grief is going to get you where you... No. Grief was created for a reason and a purpose. And grief was created for your soul. Because trust me, it's not your body that's feeling like that. It's your soul that's feeling like that. It's your spirit that's feeling like that. Because your spirit's like, you know what? I didn't feel some type of way back then. I didn't allow that to stop me. I didn't let that break my flow. Guess what? Now it's breaking this flow. Now it's breaking this time. Now it's interrupting the flow of your journey and not allowing you to be experiencing that which you are being called to experience. You will be put into a fastening, whether you want to be put into that fastening or not. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. You can choose to fast. Like me personally, under normal circumstances, I would fast from the time I wake up in the morning until 12 p.m. I would put my plate down and not eat nothing. I may brush my teeth and maybe sip a little water if that was necessary, just for my throat to not be parched, especially if I have to speak to people. But if I'm doing a fast, I've been known to do a fast from 5 o'clock in the morning to 12. I've been known to do a fast from 5 in the morning to 12 p.m. in the afternoon, because I want my blessings, my breakthroughs, and my miracles to show up. But God will put you in a fastening too. God will make sure that your refrigerator, your freezer, your deep freezer, and your cabinet is going on low. And nothing is in there. God will make sure you don't have gas in your car so you can get back for where you need to go. God will make sure you don't have the money readily at hand to pay a bill or to pay bills. God will put you in a place of fasting to get your attention and to put you into a place where you are more consecrated so that you are listening to Him, and more importantly, you taking time to listen to yourself. Because when you don't listen to yourself, you get it wrong. When you don't listen to Him, you get it wrong. When you're not listening to both at the same time, you dead wrong. Literally, you dead and you wrong. Because pieces of you are going to be able to start dying inside and outside of you. And you're going to keep going wrong. You're going to keep going down the wrong path. You're going to keep running into brick walls. You're going to keep falling until you get up the right way. And the only way to get up the right way is to deal with whatever is being put on your plate and eating it, whether you want to or not. It's like what Big Mama and Auntie and Mama and all that did. If you had especially you had a strict mama that was on a budget, you going to eat what's in front of you, or you going to go to bed hungry. Or what Grandma would say, if you didn't have enough to eat, go in the kitchen and get you a glass, turn on the faucet, and keep drinking until you get full. That's the same kind of diet that our Father in heaven gives to us. Like, you ain't got no choice. You can't go to work because I ain't going to let you have no job. You can't pay your bills, so you're going to be worried and you're going to be stressed, and you ain't going to know how things are going to get taken care of because you don't see where the money is coming from. You ain't got no choice but to eat less meat, fruits, vegetables, desserts, or whatever, because it ain't even in the kitchen. So there's nothing for you to eat. I'm breaking you down and I'm putting you in a space to be by yourself with yourself and to be by yourself. God will do it through your mate. Where you and your mate may laugh and have a good time and it's always a party, your mate may have a whole different mindset. And you thinking you giving that to him and you giving credit to him or her. But in reality, you need to turn that all the way. Like I said in one of the videos yesterday, you want to give credit to the devil and low vibrational energy. So, the devil's doing this. No, God is doing that. Don't give it to your partner either. Your partner ain't got nothing to do with it. Because I'm going to tell you, everything would fall into place the way it always has, or in a better and greater way, if God wasn't trying to get more alone time with you and trying to make you be alone with yourself to deal with your issues, to deal with your demons, to deal with your past, to deal with your trauma, to deal with the tragedies of what happened to you. Hear that statement, what happened to you. Things happen to you and you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to be a victim, and you don't want to be considered weak, and you don't want nobody to treat you less than what you want to be treated as, because you want to be up here. You want to be up on your throne, and you believe, well, if I cry, that means I'm weak. I'm a punk. I'm a simp. I'm this and I'm that if I cry. Or if I allow myself to accept the fact that I was damaged. I was bruised. If I took an AK-47 and shot you in the head, are you going to stand there and say, no, it's all good in the hood? I'm good. No, you're not. You're going to be bleeding from the temple. You may not even be able to say nothing. You just going to be standing there bleeding. Well, let me tell you something. You're bleeding right now from your soul. You bleeding right now from your spirit. And your spirit and your soul is saying, we can go no further until you heal me. Until that bullet is pulled out. Until whatever is irrigated to get that out of there, whatever is put up there to start healing and closing this wound, I'm going to keep bleeding and you're not going to go any further until you heal me. And the person that's responsible for that is you. Oh, God can heal you. But baby, you got to take responsibility. You a co-creator in these streets. It ain't just on God. Because God gives you self-will. And self-will means, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it, wherever I want to do it, in the order in which I want to do it. Oh, God, you take care of it. God don't say, yes, I'm going to take care of it. What he says is, hold up, wait a minute. You have self-will, and I want you to take responsibility for yourself. So I can't take all responsibility for you. I can bless you. I can give you blessings, breakthroughs, and miracles. But you still got to do your part too. That's why we grew up around, if you make one step, God will make two. But you got to make your step, especially when it comes down to your healing. You got to say, I got to cry about that ex. I got to cry about my daddy. I got to cry about my mama. I got to cry because I got raped. I got to cry because I got beat down. I got to cry because I got robbed. I got to cry because I got stolen from. I got to cry because I was abused. I got to cry, I got to cry, I got to cry. Because these things happened to me. I done been shot. So I got to heal those bullet wounds. And I got to start by acknowledging that that's how it feels. That it hurts. I got hurt. I got broken. I got humiliated. I got used and abused and taken advantage of. I got left behind. I got abandoned. I lost my friends and my family. I lost it all. I lost everything. I lost it 5 times. I lost it 100 times. I lost all those things. I built everything up from the bottom, and it all crashed back down because none of it was built on a solid foundation. It was built on the wind. It was built on the water. It was built on the sand. It wasn't built on a solid foundation. And because of that, it fell, and it fell 100 times, and it hurts. I was homeless. I was sleeping in my car. I was eating out of garbage can. I sold myself on the streets. Whatever your story is. And it don't matter what it looked like. Acknowledge it and cry that pain out your soul, because that's the only way to get it out. Acknowledge it, see it, smell it. Smell it as dirty as you smell somebody leaving a turd in the toilet, and you get ready to go in there and use the bathroom, and that's the first thing you see and you smell. You see how badly that feels? That's how it feels in your soul. Your soul can smell that stink. Your spirit can smell that stink. And you got to flush that toilet in order for you to be able to move on. In order to make room for your soul and spirit to be whole and complete again. Because right now it ain't whole. It ain't complete. You got pieces of yourself in every person that ever did you wrong. Every person that ever violated you. Every person that ever hurt you. Every person that ever left you. Every person that ever used and abused you and took advantage of you and treated you like less than a child of God. Every one of them took something, a piece of your spirit and a piece of your soul, as well as your heart. We ain't discrediting your heart, but you want to think about your heart, and you don't want to think about your soul and your spirit. And that is the time. Now is the time. Now is it. That's it. No salt, no sugar, just the truth. Allow it to set you free. I love you. God bless you. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. You heard me? Peace.